In 1968, Eartha Kitt was invited to the White House for lunch. She left with her career in shambles, and all it took was telling the First Lady the truth. This is the story of how one of the most famous women in the world got blackballed by the US government, not for breaking the rules, but for breaking the silence. Let's get into it. Let's be clear, Eartha Kitt didn't stumble into fame. She carved her name into every damn stage she stepped on. Born in 1927 in the Deep South, raised in poverty, and fluent in survival long before she learned any of her 11 languages, Eartha had always been unapologetically aware. By the time the 1960s rolled around, Eartha had sung cabaret in Paris, lit up Broadway, starred in films, performed worldwide, and dropped a whole album of African folk tales to highlight the power of oral history and ancestral storytelling. She was glamorous, brilliant, political, and completely unbothered. I'm talking about the kind of unbothered that made people nervous. You see, what people forget is that Eartha wasn't just entertainment. She was elegance with edge, right? A woman who knew her presence was the protest. So let me set up the timeline. January  18, 1968. Lady Bird Johnson hosts a White House luncheon for women and youth. The goal? Discuss the growing unrest among, young Americans. Eartha gets an invite. And let's just say she didn't RSVP to smile and nod, okay? And when it's her turn to speak, Eartha looks the First Lady right in the eye and says, "You send the best of this country off to be shot and maimed. They will rebel in the streets. They will take pot. And they do it because they are not listened to." Now, she wasn't just calling out the war. Eartha brought the whole kitchen table with her. Vietnam, Social Security, motherhood, laid it all out, plain and direct. She didn't whisper it politely to the First Lady in passing. Hell no. She said it right in front of the president, to his face, in that room, on their dime. Okay? Now let's be clear. Eartha didn't come to decorate the conversation. She came to challenge the delusion. And that wasn't the assignment. Because what they really wanted was her name on the invite list, her glamour in the press photos, her applause to make a deeply unpopular war feel like, less like a body count and more like a charity ball. They didn't want the truth. They wanted a prop. But Eartha, she refused to be staged. And when she spoke up, truthfully, unapologetically, the whole plan crumbled. Okay, period. Full stop. The room froze. And Lady Bird Johnson reportedly left the luncheon in tears. Tears. Mm-hmm. That's what they said. But fast forward a few interviews later, and even Lady Bird backpedaled on that story. She said she didn't cry. And Eartha didn't even waste her time on the myth because she knew for a fact that didn't happen. There was nothing in that room to cry about. Now, the state of America at that time, sure, plenty to cry over. But what was said at that table? Nah, no tears needed, just truth. Now, look, the White House, they didn't just take it personally, they took it as a threat. Not because Eartha was wrong, but because she said it out loud and in front of the wrong people at the wrong time with no intention of making anyone feel comfortable. Okay? Now, you think that might have just been worthy of a dramatic headline, right?
Extra, extra, read all about it.
A few uncomfortable brunches. But no, the Johnson administration decided to make an example out of her. Within weeks, Eartha's bookings vanished. A Broadway show she had in development, gone. TV deals canceled, mainstream media crickets. But what most people don't realize is that this wasn't just bad press. The White House didn't just get offended, okay? They orchestrated a smear campaign rooted in pure fiction. The CIA called her a sadistic nymphomaniac with a vile tongue. Mind you, this was in writing, okay? It was filed, circulated, and used to destroy her livelihood. And to top it off, it was a bold faced lie. They claimed she caused a scene at the luncheon. More lies. She didn't scream, she didn't act out, she spoke, and they couldn't handle it. They didn't just shut her out, they rebranded her as a threat to justify silencing her. Hollywood directors were warned not to hire her. Venues were strongly advised to pass, and the media quietly complied. She was shut out completely, not because of anything she did, but because of the lie they built to justify erasing her. But Eartha didn't beg, she didn't cry, and she damn sure didn't apologize. She packed her furs, her passport, and her politics and got the hell on. Made a beeline straight to Europe. And while Washington was busy writing fake CIA fan fiction, Eartha was busy selling out shows across continents. She spent most of the 1970s in self imposed exile, living between Europe and Asia. Eartha was performing in couture, sipping wine, and being adored by crowds who didn't need her to shut up to show up. She kept her power, she kept her politics, and she stayed booked, bilingual, and unbothered in multiple countries. Okay? America didn't break her. They just reminded her that she never needed their permission in the first place. But I ain't gonna hold you, okay? Eartha was gone a long time. It took about a decade. But eventually, America realized you can't silence a woman with something to say. And besides, the audiences missed her, younger artists revered her, and Eartha decided she was going to come back to America on her own terms. She returned to Broadway in Timbuktu, which earned a Tony nomination. Okay. She appeared on television, released new albums, and made an entire second career for herself as the unfiltered, no nonsense legend that Gen X grew up on. By the time she appeared in the 1992 film Boomerang as Lady Eloise, a whole new generation was whispering, "Wait, who is that?" And Eartha, she just smirked because she never stopped being Eartha. One liners, elegance, bite, and that refusal to dim, Eartha had arrived. Again. She once said, "I am learning all the time. The tombstone will be my diploma." And when she passed in 2008, she had been working right up until the end, performing, speaking, writing, living. Eartha Kitt's real legacy isn't just talent, it's resistance with lipstick on. It's knowing when to smile, when to purr, and when to burn it all down with the truth. She wasn't just an icon, she was a blueprint. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.